that with their muzzle, or like what?
Yeah, so her day would be a blend of, we do the pack walk. So then a dog walk with other dogs is actually easier than a dog being in a pen with other dogs.
Right.
Okay, because we're going in one direction, we're doing something, there's no like sniffing or something like that.
Right.
Like an off-leash dog right there, you see.
Okay.
And she would do duration work, which is like, play stuff, rest time in the kennel, and then socialization time, right? And then that's where my staff will kind of pull out dogs and see if there's anybody that she vibes with, or dogs that she doesn't. Maybe it's all dogs, maybe it's no dogs, maybe it's a couple dogs. We don't know. But they would try, to see what she's capable of.
Okay.
And in some cases, like the dog, like we have a dog right now that at her old daycare would play with every dog. And then now she comes to our daycare, and she just started playing with other dogs. And the owner was like, the dog's been coming here for 2 weeks, let's take it. Like, because we're not like other daycares with free for all.
Yeah.
Like we put rules to things, and because of that, the dogs, they're more mindful of what they're doing.
Right.
And it takes them longer, but we get the balance of well kind of balanced play group where there's not a ton of energy. You're still having fun, but it's not over the top. It's not constant, 8 hours of play,
right.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we had another dog, same thing, and he's been with us for 2.5 months, and he just started playing with dogs like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then, but the owner didn't care. She was like, because he was super reactive and stuff.
Yeah.
And the daycare with the training and everything, like, helped him progress very quickly, so she was so happy with it.
Okay,
Cool. So we don't know what to expect. Elsa will let us know. Otherwise, my crew will tag you and stuff.
Okay.
So you can shoot it. I think I've seen you on our Instagram. Like, I think it pinged me or whatever. Yeah. But you would just message and just say like, hey, I'm Elsa's mom. Please tag me in any post, and then my employees know. So then when they post anything up, they'll tag you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
Nope. Thanks.
Any questions about the obedience stuff that we covered? And we did the recall, I think, last time.
Yeah, and then with like moving and choosing.
We did the sidestep stuff already. Okay. Yeah. So we've done heel, stay, and then the recall. Okay. So, how do you feel the recall is going?
It's good, and she's actually been good with stay too. Like I went in to go get Thai food, had her stay like in the waiting area, which I was like, maybe I should or shouldn't do this, and she like stayed the whole time.
Okay.
And the door was open.
Sure.
But yeah, recall is good.
Okay.
I've been trying to do it with places with more distractions. So.
Okay. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna switch. We're gonna go to new command.
Okay.
Or new command. So we have, because you're doing 12, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you keep working on your recall like we have.
Okay.
The other two commands we have are sit down and place command in terms of obedience. And then after we learn those, then now we're gonna start practicing everything on the long leash to build it up to off leash reliability.
Okay.
That's how that works. Okay.
Cool.
Have you ever done any kind of bed or like I call this place?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, like go to bed.
Yes. Did she had training before, right? Did they go over this with you?
Yeah.
Okay. How did they go over it? Like what was
She's pretty good with it. We'll see how she is today.
It wasn't with remote though, right? No. Okay. What were you saying?
I was gonna say she was good with it. Who knows? Like how she is.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna layer remote over it.
Okay.
Place in itself is like the simplest thing to teach to a dog. And I teach this first because it's the easiest duration command to do. So like sit is sit. There is no laying down or standing up like you have to do this. Down is the same thing. Once she's in the position, there is no movement down. Place is different in the sense that she can sit, stand, or lay down. She just cannot step off of the threshold or the area of the place. So it's a dog bed, a towel.
A photo of the carpet in my room. She'll like.
Oh yeah, where she's like pushing that boundary. Yeah. So we'll start. We'll do that today, and then we'll cover the sitting downs next time I see you, and then from there we'll just start working on things towards that off-leash reliability. Okay. And we'll scoot down a bit, so we'll be over here in the.
And I'm thinking I should probably do this more with. So she was at my parents for a bit. I mean, I've had her now for the last like 2 months, but my mom would feed her scraps like all the time, like cooking, like everything. So if she's doing that now when I'm cooking, should I just be like, go to bed?
You can. Yeah. You can use it as much as you want, as little as you want, but definitely in the beginning, I tell everybody, use it a lot.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do.
She feels like she's being bad, like so much.
her. Oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
It's duration work is so simple for people to do, and I feel like that's why they kind of blow it off.
Yeah.
Because like I could do this anytime, but then they blow it off, like like high school or college, putting off projects and say, oh shit, now it's due tomorrow.
Right.
So I feel like people blow it off, and then it's, oh crap, I would like to use this tomorrow when I go to like dinner with my friends, and I've not practiced it at all.
Right.
So definitely, the more you apply it throughout your day and stuff, the more applicable it's going to be, or the more easily applicable it's going to be in your realistic concepts.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you can do it when you're making dinner, when you're eating dinner, if you're working from home, if you're working on the computer, if you're watching TV.
Yeah.
Or just for the sake of doing it to practice.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover layering remote over it, and then how you would apply it so that you could do extended periods of time. Because once we teach place right off the bat, like at my facility, like when we do our boarding trains, like once we teach it, the dogs are doing it for 2 to 3 hours, like day one.
Yeah.
It's just they make mistakes, then we correct them.
Right.
And eventually throughout the program, as they get better at it, they'll go there and not move for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, like I don't do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to 15 minutes. We go straight into, okay, you're not going to move for the next hour.
Okay.
Okay, and then we just correct it and everything.
Okay.
Okay. The questions?
Nope.
Alrighty, so we're going to bring Elsa over here.
Should she be on long leash or?
No, she's fine on the short
Okay.
leash. Yep. So, what's your number currently set at?
21.
21. So what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about any words. Did you use place with the previous training, like for the word, or?
I think we didn't do place. I think it was just like
Bed or go to bed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're not going to worry about the phrase quite yet. What we want to do is teach Elsa that remote means to go to this object in order for it to turn off.
Okay.
And then from there, we'll build it to where we'll start to layer in the cue.
Okay.
I'm going to have you start more so like at a 2 to 3 foot distance.
Okay.
You're going to want to have Elsa here, okay? You're going to shorten your leash so that you have more immediate contact to give her directional pressure. You're going to start tapping on that 21, and we're going to see what she does. Okay? Sometimes the dogs, especially if they already have like familiarity with it, will just flush onto the placemat. If she doesn't, by that second to third tap, you'll keep tapping, but then you're going to lightly add in a leash pressure towards the placemat. Okay? Now let's say she were to freak out and she starts to do this, then you'll just have to counter with more physical direction.
Okay.
Once they hop on her like the first couple of times, if they've been bucking around, like it's super simple after that. Okay? But as soon as Elsa is completely on the placemat, we stop tapping. Okay? So if she goes on it, but she's leaving one leg off like this, you would still be tapping until this leg also is on the mat, and then we stop. If she overshoots it and like goes off from the other side, now you're gonna put pressure going this way as you tap because you need her to go onto the mat over here.
Yeah.
Okay? And if she flushes that way, you counter going this way. So you're always directing her towards the mat as you're tapping. As soon as all of her is on the mat, we stop. Okay? Questions?
Nope.
So I'll have you go ahead and get in position here.
Can I?
Right, so you're gonna hold right there. Tap, 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 tap. A little bit more pressure on the leash. Tap, tap. Right there. Now back, tap. There you go. Now wait. Good. And break. And remove her.
Break.
Good. Now what you're gonna see is as you start to repeat this, you're gonna walk to it and she's gonna start going. Don't allow her to. Okay. So if you walk to it and she just goes, you're gonna want to stop her and keep her more so like kind of at your side, and then start the tapping process, and then give the pull, because we want to make sure that the remoting is what's making Elsa go there, not the fact that she's learning. Oh, okay, sure, so just go there. Because as we move forward and we want to start correcting things, it'll help kind of speed up the process of, if you're 20 feet away, she tries to sneak away and I tap her, she'll just go back on there. Okay, so right now we want to make sure it's the remote that puts her on the placemat and not the assumption. Okay?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Right there. Good. Yep. There you go.
Yep.
That's fine. There you go. And break.
Break.
Good. There's 3 more. Yeah, good. Had a girl. She get group?
She did.
Yeah, she looks Smells
Yeah,
like fresh.
especially with the heat, she loves it. And she's blowing at her coat right now too.
Looks good.
Thanks.
Yep. 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 Good. Yep, girl.
She loves it. She's like wagging her tail more because she likes doing it, or she's unsure.
In my opinion, because I see dogs wag their tails a lot when we do remote work, it
Yeah.
makes them think.
Yeah, and she likes to think.
Yeah. Challenging.
Okay.
One more. Break.
Break. Girl.
That, or she liked my compliment when I said she get a
She's like,
haircut.
"Thanks,
She's like, oh,
Jesse."
you noticed.
Yeah. She's like, I was waiting.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Hey, what's our number still? 21?
I bumped it up to 24.
24? Let's try 28. So we're gonna do the same thing, but now I'm gonna have you increase the distance. Now instead of doing about a 2 to 3 foot distance, you're gonna do about a 3 to 4 foot distance. So
Okay.
go one more step back, okay?
Okay. Break. And do I walk with her towards it or no?
I'm gonna have you be stationary as best you can.
Okay.
So you might have to like awkwardly stretch forward,
Okay.
but that's where shortening the leash comes into play because it gives you more leverage. Yeah. 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 Yep. 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 Right there. Add a girl. Wait a
Good
moment.
girl.
Good. Break.
Break.
Good. And do
Break.
one more.
Break.
There we go. Turn a little bit. Sorry, please. Good girl.
Yeah. Break.
Yep. Yep. Good.
Break. Okay.
Yep. 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 Good.
Yeah.
One more.
Well, that gets it. Also, the nail polish wore off, so I did the duct tape where I think it's at. So can you remind me to break?
Sure.
See if it's too tight or too.
Yep. Good girl. Very good.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do the same thing, but now we're gonna start moving around the mat. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say within the home, you have a specific place that you want to send her to, and you always send from a particular way, and then one day you decide to send it from like this way.
Yeah.
She's not gonna get it. Okay.
Okay.
So right off the bat, once I see the dog knows to go there, as I start to send from different directions, because they will get stuck on, I do this a very specific way. Okay. So it helps kind of fix that problem of that's happening.
Okay.
You'll keep that same 3 to 4 foot distance, and actually what I'll also have you do is instead of doing that step forward, you just keep like this, okay?
Okay.
And really just use that subtle leash pressure, and if anything, we're gonna increase the power here to make sure again that it's the remote that pushes her towards the place mat.
Okay.
Break.
Break.
There you go. Yep. 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 Good. Good.
Break.
Yep. Yep. A little bit more pressure on the leash. Yep. 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 Good. Got a girl.
Yeah. Break.
More. Yep. Yep. Good.
Break. Break.
Yep. 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 Good girl. Good. One more.
Break.
Good. All right. Simple enough, huh?
Yeah.
So, what's our number now?
28.
28. Let's go ahead and try 34.
Okay.
I like she feels it, but sometimes I feel like
It's crazy how she can like.
how
It can be at like 60. Like,
are you on the long or short rope? So for the
the
contact
long
one?
rope.
You're on the long one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's when I was thinking maybe I didn't do it tight enough. It's fine right now.
Oh yeah. I probably do.
It's loose?
I probably do like a notch or two tighter.
Really?
Because I got my fingers underneath there, no problem. So
Underneath the probe
next
part?
to the probes, yeah. So we go by the probes, not the collar.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, the probes, not the collar. That 2-finger rule doesn't really apply. So when you
Okay.
try to get your fingers underneath the probes, like
Yeah.
it should be like very uncomfortable or like impossible to do.
Okay.
And that's how you know it's snug enough.
She always like swallows.
Like a little gulp.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry.
Guilt you
Is
into,
that
like-
one? Is that better? Sorry.
It could probably be one more,
Okay.
but it's better than what it was before. Okay?
Okay. All right. Then I'll nut that.
Yep. Good. All right, so what we're gonna do here is you're at 28,
Now 34.
34, okay. Is now you're gonna do the same thing, except once you send her, you're gonna start walking around her, okay?
Okay.
Now, as you move around her, she may wanna try to follow you.
Okay.
If that happens, you're gonna stop. Use leash pressure if you need to keep her from breaking off the area,
Okay.
and then tapping to get her back on. Once she's back on again, then you'll continue your movement.
Do I say stay or I just okay?
So once we're gonna use the word or go to bed or whatever you want to use. Stays implied.
Okay.
The way we create that implication is really by just walking around, and when she tries to preemptively break, you just correct her. So she's thinking, okay, when you tap me to go here, and then I try to sneak off, it happens again,
Yeah.
right? And the only way to avoid it is just to not step off the area in the
Okay.
first place.
Okay.
So go ahead and release her, break.
Right.
Good.
I have her. Okay.
There you go. Add a girl.
Okay.
So then
So I
you'll
put
start
it
with
on there and then I walk around, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. That's better. Let her. Yep. There you go. Then you move around.
I need to do this in the car with her.
Just move
Oh,
around.
sorry, I'm like
Okay.
pulling her.
Tap. Tap. Now move towards her. Tap. Tap. Hold right there. Tap. Tap. Good. And then step away. Good. And then you'll start to walk around again. I'm sorry. In the car, will just move around a lot?
She'll jump to the front.
Oh, okay.
So I just need to like hide somewhere away, and if she goes to the front, like tap her there. I
So-
mean, not in the summer. I'd say like when it's not 70 out, but if it's like 50 or lower, and I have the windows rolled down, and then I go to grab whatever, whenever I come back, she's like in the front.
Gotcha. So you could do like one, like they have those like seatbelt harnesses, or two, like you could tether the leash to like the headrest.
Okay.
You know, so you would shorten it.
Oh.
So then, and then you could do like a towel down and place her, and then tether her, just so it limits her range of motion. You know, until you get to the point where you know she won't move. Because in the beginning, she's gonna move. She's gonna make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. So to help you,
No, but I mean, like to move to the front seat, could I just like tap if I'm not?
like you don't want her in the front, right?
Correct.
Right. So then, same thing. I use the leash tether
Okay.
to limit how far she can get. Right. So what happens is she tries to get in the front, and you tap her, and because she can't
I'll
go
use
forward,
the chain. I have like a chain leash for her because the other ones when I've been like out for brunch, we have a chain leash. Now. She's better now.
sure. And you can also bring her with you to brunch. Lay
No,
down.
I do bring her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying like before she'd choose so many different leashes, but now she's like pretty good.
Gotcha.
She's almost 3.
Okay. So we're going to release her, and then we're going to repeat that again, okay, with the sending and then the movement around.
Okay. Break. Break.
Good girl. Good. Good. Back to her side. Good. And break.
Break. Break.
Remember, break. Good girl. 3 more.
She's like, this is fun.
She's like, I sit here,
She's like, I'm the southern attendant. This is
sit
fun.
here and model.
Yeah.
Good.
Break. Break.
Break, break, break. Good girl. Good.
Break.
Good.
Break.
Couple more. Good. One more. Very good. Oh, now she's laying down.
She's looking at me like,
Relax.
is this okay? Hey.
All right. So now we're gonna start adding in the word. Did you want to use go to bed, or?
Yeah, go to bed.
Okay. So everything's gonna stay the same.
Okay.
But you're gonna cue that go to bed first. Then you're gonna kick in with the tapping, or I'm sorry, the leash pressure with the tapping.
Okay.
To get her to set. Okay.
Okay.
No repeats here. Once you cue it, you want to just make it happen.
Okay.
And let's try 38. I'm trying to see a little bit more umph from her on the send.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Go to bed.
Yep. Yep. Good girl. You can do the walk around.
Okay. Okay, break.
Good. 4 more.
Okay. Go to bed.
Good girl.
Okay, break. Go to bed.
Good.
We have a bunch of play dates this week. Tomorrow's with Reggie.
From the.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Huh? Got a pack. Break. Break. I think we're gonna meet with Finn. We've met with Coda. Go to bed.
Oh, he's actually gonna. Wait, when is she coming to my facility?
To what?
When is she coming to the facility?
Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after.
Oh, okay. Because Coda's at my facility this weekend.
Oh, really?
So I was like, oh, she's there this weekend.
This past weekend or this upcoming?
This upcoming one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like Coda. That's the thing with the muzzle. Break. Break. Come on. Break. What's over there? With the muzzle, I feel like she's more hesitant. Go to bed. Go to bed.
It takes time for them to like kind of just get fully comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's like even with like sniffing other dogs, I feel like if you have a muzzle. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. But and then my friend agreed to let us do a walk. Break. Break. With her dog too.
Oh, nice. It's just
A lot of action. Yeah, very packed social calendar.
you had
A lot
your
of
calendar
dates.
and her calendar, and you
Yeah.
gotta like
Yeah.
coordinate now.
Yeah.
Have her people call your people.
Actually, well, yeah.
So good. So all this is looking. We're getting a pretty consistent send. So now what we're gonna do is you're gonna say go to bed, and you're gonna start tapping, but now you're not using the leash pressure.
Okay.
So we're gonna try. We're at what number? 38 now.
Yeah.
38, right? If we don't see a change, 42,
Okay.
46, whatever, just as an example. Until you start to see her fidget around, and then we're gonna see if she'll go there on her own
Okay.
without the leash pressure, okay? We'll use it if necessary, but we're really trying to get her to respond to that remote power
Yeah.
and go there herself, okay? And I'm gonna have you bring her a little bit closer. We'll try from that 2 to 3 foot distance again, just to make it a little bit easier, okay? Yep. 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 Now pressure. Yep. Yep. There it is. Good girl. What's your number now?
Oh, I didn't hear that. It's not there.
It's still 38. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there, you gave the cue. She actually was gonna do something, and then what happened? You confused her.
What did I do?
When you said go to bed, she went like this, and when you tapped her, she went like this.
Oh, okay.
It's normal.
Okay, okay.
So I want to see that stuff
Okay.
because it's natural for the dog. Because you said go to bed, and she was like okay, and since you tapped too late, she goes
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I talk about with the recall, right? I say always call your dog and remote them immediately because you're gonna do that. Where
Right.
you'll call her and you'll remote her, she'll oh crap, was that wrong?
Yeah.
And then you have to clarify for her like no, you do need to return.
Okay.
So that's essentially what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Is you say go to bed, she moved forward and you tapped her and she goes, whoop, maybe that's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you kept tapping her and then she's like going, this is now annoying. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
And then she shot forward. Okay, so she eventually figured out like, okay, like it was the answer before, so she tries it again and then it goes away. She goes, oh, okay, cool, like I was right.
Okay.
So then if anything, the remote, again, should never detract the dog. If anything, should push the dog to doing the behavior faster. Okay? But it takes working up to that confusion first.
Okay.
And I do this with a lot of the commands.
Yeah.
The heel, the recall, and the place, the down, or I always do that because the dog gets confused and I'm like, nope, you were right.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna repeat that again. That was good. We're gonna do that one more time.
Okay. Cool. Break. Break. Go to bed.
Now pressure. There it is. Good girl.
Girl. Okay. Break. Did I bump it or?
No, you're good. I think that 38 is working well.
Go to bed.
Right. Good.
I do tap right after, like anyway, right? Or no
Yeah.
tap.
As soon as you cue it, you start tapping.
Okay.
Okay. Because you want her to feel the first tap and think go.
Yeah.
If anything, you want her to hear the wording go before the tapping kicks in.
Okay.
So right there, did you see her think?
Yeah.
Like she went like this, like I know I'm supposed to do something, and then
Right.
she just went into it.
Okay.
And it was good.
Yeah.
Whereas the last one, she knew she had to do something, but she was frustrated. That's why she was bucking around.
Right.
Because she was like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
You helped her. Oh, it's that thing again.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do a couple more.
Okay. Break. Go to bed.
Good girl.
Okay. Break. Go to bed.
Right, good. Good. We're gonna hold right there. Excellent. So, what we're working on right now is descent. So we have there's two components to this. There's the go there, and then there's the don't move from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to work on these things separately.
Okay.
This exercise that we're doing here, 2 times a day, 2 to 3 minutes. Real short, okay? Because it's really redundant. Here we're doing it a lot because I have to teach you the steps and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it like
Still with tap first, right?
yes,
Will always be.
in the beginning,
Okay.
because you're in the training phase, okay?
Yeah, because we have to like think through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're trying to cement in her brain when you hear this is going to happen,
Yeah.
unless you move very quickly. Okay, so if I said go to bed, boom, and she just shot there, then I'm like, crap, I didn't even get to press the button. Good. So she's learning she can beat the button.
Yeah.
And that's how I build really fast responses,
Okay.
and that's how I build reliability.
Okay.
Most people, once they see the dog like start to do it, they start to right away wean off the remote. So then it's so early in the process as it doesn't really mean anything to them.
Right.
But for me, it's remote behind everything unless
Yeah.
you move very quickly.
Yeah, and for her, it's more like just staying there, like to be like, okay, like I touched
This is enough, right?
base, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So like the little crumpet thing, right?
Yeah.
So the scent 2 times a day, 2 to 3 minutes, really short.
Okay.
Everybody's kind of standard of application is going to be different according to what their life looks like with their dog. I think I've only had like maybe a handful of clients where they wanted to be able to send their dog from like wherever they were in the house, kitchen, upstairs, downstairs, whatever, right? And I'm like, sure, but you're going to have to do a lot of work, right? Most people that says, I want to send my dog and the dog doesn't move. That's like the standard. And I go, okay, then that's what you would practice with, right?
Yeah.
So like the average person will like send the dog from here and really only care about the dog not moving.
Right.
Okay. So if you were to decide like, no, I want to send her from anywhere, you would have to practice. So we're slowly creating more distance when we do those sends
Yeah.
from different directions, and then going to the point of different rooms, if that's what you wanted. If it's like, nope, just needed her to go there and like not move, then this is enough. Okay.
Okay.
Then when it comes down to the stationary stuff, like I said, you can do that as soon as you go home today. So at my facility, we have columns, and then maybe you've seen in our pictures, like there'll be a dog like laying on one of these placemats, and you'll see them next to a column. It's because on that column is a leash that's tethered to it, and then we have a chain leash that clips to it. Okay? So like, let's say we teach the dog the command, and then we'll finish the training session, and then we'll go to a column, we'll place the dog, and then we'll tether them to that column, and then we walk away.
Okay.
The dog goes, I'm done, and tries to sneak away. but they're tethered. So they have enough space that they can get off of the mat, but not enough space that they can get away from it.
Right.
So then we're 20 feet away, and we're remoting, and we're bumping it, whatever, and the dog goes, holy crap, it jumps back on, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
So then the dog goes like, wow, like, you don't need to be near me in order to make me go back onto this, right? And then we start working on duration stuff right off the bat, but it's easy and convenient for us. So like, if we had like 4 board and trains, they could teach one, and then they put them, and then they grab another one to work with. And as they're working with that one, they have the remote over here for the other one, and they go, oh, they remote, fixed it. Okay, cool, I go back to training this dog.
Yeah.
Okay? Or like if they're working with the dog in the immediate area, and maybe this one's like super like social and playful, and they want to like, we're using that as a distraction with the dog walking by and stuff. Very easily correctable. So the tether limits the dog's range of motion. That makes it easier for them to go back to the mat. Okay? So for some of my clients, like they have like the old school radiators, and like in the summer, like they're not on, and right now they're probably not on either. And I'll tell them like, put the bed next to the radiator and tether the dog to the radiator, when it's not on.
It's not like a crazy dog.
So, because it's built into the, into the foundation, like they're not gonna move that radiator. Otherwise, like if they have a really heavy couch and it's like a smaller dog, again, it's not going to move it, right? I'll tell them like you can use that to your advantage. Now, if they don't have that, then they just have to do steps. So the first step is like, let's say, are you still at the same place or did you move?
Different apartment, same building. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I could do it to like the back patio door, maybe. Unless you take out the handle.
Probably take out the handle. Yeah. So what I would do is if you don't have anything solid for you to tether her to, is you take whatever you're going to use, and you can use a bed, a kitchen mat, a towel, a blanket, a t-shirt, anything that just creates a perimeter. Like I can't say place here and expect the dog to know where the boundary is.
She has a bed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just letting you know that there's different.
Oh, okay.
Because I had somebody say that. They're like, oh, could I just be like place? And I'm like, well, where's the perimeter? Right. She just needs something that has a perimeter. Okay. So yes, you can use her dog bed. So like, let's say you're going to sit at your couch and watch TV. Yeah. In the beginning, I have, let's say this is the end of the couch. I move her bed here. I put on her equipment. I put on her leash. Elsa place. And then I just watch TV for the next 2 hours, okay? And then during those 2 hours, she's gonna go, I'm bored. And she tries to move off. I have her on the leash. I don't say anything. I just start correcting and bumping, or a little bit of leash pressure to help her back, but I don't say anything. 30 minutes goes by, and then maybe you start to see those paws start to sneak off, right? You would tap there. You wouldn't wait for her to already be trying to sneak off, okay? As soon as you see the mindset go into like, yeah, I'm tired of being here, that's when you want to correct, okay? So we start with the dog next to us first if we don't have anything to tether to make it easier for the owner. Because I've had people go like, Jesse, I placed the dog across the house from me, and I kept having to get up to like put him back. I'm like, yeah, because I said not to do that. Like I said, you got to be at the, unless you have a tether, the dog has to be next to you, okay? Now at this stage, let's say you're gonna go and get something from the kitchen, okay? And she's been there for like 40 minutes. If you just get up and move, her inclination is gonna be to follow, okay? So what I do at this stage is I release her first, then I stand up, then I go do what I need to do, come back, replace her if you want, or if she's done, you decide, but you wanna release her before you stand up.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Because the one I'm like allowing her to move.
Partially. What do you think would happen if you got up first and then released her?
She would think that that's allowed every time.
Right. She's gonna start thinking like every time you stand up, release me. Right. So to prevent that problem, I don't get up. Release, then get up. Okay. So you prevent that visual cue. Because that will happen where you'll stand up and then all of a sudden, oh, where are we going? You're like, oh no, I don't need you to move now. But you create a pattern of every time I stand up, you get released. Okay. So to fix that or to prevent that, I release, then get up. Okay. If you want to reposition her and stuff after you're done, perfectly fine. Otherwise, if you decide, no, you're good, then you would remove your equipment and she's free to be. Okay. You can do as long as you want right off the bat. There is no like building up to higher or longer duration times. It's just whatever the owner wants.
So would I be able to get up and like have her not move and remote if she did move when I got
In the
up?
future, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's phases.
Okay.
In the first phase, it's we're next to each other.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really easy for you to correct her. Because
Right.
you're trying to get her used to when she feels this, she goes back to here.
Yeah.
Then the second week is, okay, she's here. Now I'm gonna get up and move, but she's not gonna move. Okay, then the third week is, now she's a little bit away from us. And the fourth week would be, she's completely away from you. Okay, so you're gradually working to a more difficult
So right now.
scale. Yeah, but right now it's always in the immediate space.
Okay.
To make life easier.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I've had clients do it where they jump the gun, like 20 steps, and they're like, "Jesse, it's so frustrating." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I said not to do that."
Right.
So, other questions?
No.
Application. Where can you use this? Right within the home, when you're eating dinner, you're watching TV, you're working from home. Maybe she's bugging you and like wanting attention. You're like, "Leave me alone," right? You can use this as much as you want.
Okay.
Some people feel bad because they're like, "Oh, but like just like dog's not doing anything." Like dogs sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. You're just picking where she's doing it or where they're doing it for like a few hours. So it's perfectly fine. Outside of the home, so a lot of my clients will keep like a towel in their car or a blanket, and then when they go to like have brunch with their friends, they'll bring their dog along and they'll take their towel out, plop it on the ground, place their dog, and then they can enjoy brunch or dinner or whatever it is that they're doing. Yeah, the dog is now contained. You don't have to worry about the dog wandering.
I bring a blanket for my dog to brunch, but hey, that's her plan. She'll be like,
A very
"Let's go."
extravagant, like just roll out the red carpet type of blanket here. Yeah, just something big enough that she has enough space to sit down, lay down, or stand up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I like place is because it's lenient. So like if you're gonna go to dinner and you want to take Elsa with you, but you also want to like not have to worry about what she's doing.
Yeah.
If you downed her, like once we get to that point, we teach her to down. Down is very strict. So if she stood up or sat up, you'd have to correct that. So it means you have to be more mindful of her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, I don't care what you do, just like don't leave the area. Because
Right.
it makes it easier for you, less work, so that you can more so enjoy the moment than worry about what is Elsa doing.
So did I say go to bed every time then?
When you're gonna cue it. Yeah.
Go to bed and can do,
That's
like,
what makes it.
anything.
Yeah. And I had a client use a very big area rug,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Can this be place?" And I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "It's just a really big one, really big place where your dog can literally walk around." But anything that has a perimeter, okay? I've had people use couches, ottomans,
Yeah.
area rugs, carpets, mats. Like she doesn't care what it is. There just has to be something that differentiates what she's on from the other surface.
Okay.
Okay. I've had
If I
people
have
use.
a blanket on the couch and then
Yeah.
go to bed,
Yeah.
but it could also be her actual bed too.
Correct. Now let's say her bed and the blanket on the couch are in the same room.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're using the same phrase, which is fine, you'd have to just give a very clear visual of "I need you to go here." Does that make sense? Because if you
Do a
just,
different word.
you could do that too.
Yeah,
Different phrase, you can't do that. You just have to be consistent with it. Okay. You could have a bed in the living room, a bed in the bedroom, and like a bed in the kitchen. And depending on where she's at when you cue the word "go to bed," so if you're in the kitchen, she'd go to the one in the kitchen. Okay, she wouldn't go to the one in the bedroom.
Right.
Because that's what she's thinking. She's like, "Oh, we're in the kitchen. It's this one." Okay.
Okay.
So, and that doesn't require you having to like use different words. She'll associate depending on where she's at within the moment. Other questions? I'm trying to think if there's something else that's super common that people ask. Yeah, the kitchen,
I think I can do all kinds of words.
different areas.
There's some other people use something like,
Oh, I was gonna say yoga mat.
oh,
Just like for example. Okay. No questions? Alrighty. So here we just had her, standing put for like going on 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so. So like had she tried to sneak off, all you would have done is started tapping. You wouldn't repeat "go to bed." Okay? Because if you repeat it, you're restarting the command. Okay? You're not teaching her "don't get off."
right.
Okay, so and actually it happens a lot, but it happened to me yesterday with a client. She's like, "If I down my dog and they get up and I down them again, that's correct." And I said, "No, that's wrong." I was like, "Because now that's a new command."
Same
You
with like heel, saying it multiple times.
Right. If you're already in the movement, you don't repeat it unless you go from a stop to a motion, to going from stationary to motion.
Okay.
So, us as a human, if I go to bed and then I say, go to bed again, you kind of already know it's applying to the same thing.
Right.
Not dogs. Okay. So then, if I want her to learn, when I send you here, you don't want to try to sneak away. You simply correct her the moment you see her trying to sneak away, and then sometimes the dog will flush off, and she'll go, maybe I'm not supposed to be on there. You would keep promoting, use your leash to guide her back, but we wouldn't say anything. So she thinks, oh, okay, if I try to prematurely leave this area, this goes off automatically. The only way it'll shut back off again is if I go to this spot. Okay. Other questions? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna release her.
Right.
Good.
Right.
And I'm gonna have you go a little bit further. We're gonna probably go about a 4 to 5 foot distance.
Okay.
And you're gonna do the same approach. You're gonna cue that word first. Go to bed. Start tapping. And after a couple taps, if she doesn't get it, she's kind of frustrated. Using very little bit of pressure to send her.
Okay.
Okay.
So right here.
Yep.
Okay. Go to bed.
Yep. Add a girl.
Go to the walk around.
Yep.
Break. Break.
Good. One more. A little stretch.
Go to bed.
Oh, fine. That was pretty good though.
I have a question at the end about with squirrels and just overstimulation in general with heel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Break. Break. Break.
Good. 3 more.
Go to bed.
Her head immediately shifted.
Towards the bed. Break. 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 Go to bed.
Tap, tap, tap. Now a little bit of pressure. Tap. There she goes. Good. Good. But you see how she actually redirected before the leash kicked in?
Yeah.
So that's her already kind of associating that tap doesn't always mean here.
Yeah.
Doesn't always mean put your butt down and return. Now it means go to this object. Okay? We'll do one more.
Okay. Break. I know. I think I pulled my toes a little bit.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sorry, Elsa. Go to bed.
Yeah, the girl.
Break.
Good. So, pretty simple, right? Like the simplest thing to teach in terms of obedience. I don't care what she does. If she sits, stands, or lays down, she can chew on a bone, play with a toy, whatever. She just cannot step off the area. Okay.
Okay.
What was your question gonna be?
We were by Lakeshore, in general, a lot of stimulation going on. So where I walk her, usually there's not. So she's good with heel. So do I keep doing the turn thing with her? Because she's just or do I let her chase after the squirrels at one point. I don't know. She's just super overstimulated and just not listening very well.
Okay.
Should I just increase?
So, when it comes to the heel, she's got a super solid concept of it because you've been practicing that for months.
Yeah.
Right? Is whenever someone is struggling with anything obedience-wise, it's almost always okay. Because, here, we're at what number now?
38.
38, right? So in this environment with this contact we have, 38 is working really well. And the way to tell was the way I could tell was when you weren't doing anything and you were just tapping. And she started to buck around. That bucking around is telling me she's going, I don't like this. How do I get this to stop? It means she's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you go into a setting where there's a lot going on, squirrels, traffic, or whatever the distractions are,
yeah, rather.
It could be 64, right? So what's the highest you were at in that moment?
Probably 50.
50.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the highest you've ever gone?
90.
90. Okay. And what was that 90 for?
Dog barking.
Reactivity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it'd be the same thing, right? So as a human, when like it could be logical where it's like, oh, you know, she's barking and lunging, I'm gonna go to 90, right? Because her behavior warrants 90.
Right.
But then if it's just like excitement over stimulation, people kind of balance that out and go like the dog's not being bad. But dogs don't have bad or good.
Yeah,
right?
it's like what I can do.
Yeah, what you can't do, exactly. So then you could have very well have been at 90 again in that moment to get the level of compliance you would normally get here.
Okay.
Okay? So what dictates the number is her behavior and her response. I can tell you for like a fact, you know, that if you go over there again, same scenario, and you just keep bumping that number, she's gonna listen. Okay? It's just a matter of making what you're saying important enough that it overrides the environment.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
So let's say in your neighborhood her number is like 35 and she's perfect. Everything's great. Recall's great, heel's great, all the activity's great. Oh, that's awesome, right? And then you come to like the lakefront over by Diversity where we have the walk, right? And you're like, man, she's being a little jerk. She's not listening at 35, right?
That's like regular.
New environment, right? Bump it. And all of a sudden you're at 55. And what's happening is if you keep going to that scenario and reinforcing it like you're supposed to, you might find that number comes down to 35 because now she's learned mom doesn't play games and she makes me comply. That she becomes more focused and it becomes like the regular neighborhood, okay? Or maybe there's too much stuff there that her number just there is 55. You know, and then maybe go hiking with her and her number's 85. But now there's deer and raccoons, turtles, all this other stuff, right? You're always going within her with her behavior and the context.
And she's allowed to chase after like all those things if we say break. Because I'm thinking like at my parents, even around here, like that's fine. But unless I say break, like she's not.
If she's under command,
she can make that like.
Yes, if she's under command. So like, one of my client's dogs, she had him in the heel. We're doing long leash, and he's got really good prey drive. And there was a squirrel like in a tree right there. And I said, walk towards the tree. She took like 3 steps, and the dog just booked it. Okay. And then she turned around and I had to amp it to like 100. And then he came back, right? And then I said, walk to the tree again. He wouldn't leave her side. Okay. So he made a bad decision. It warranted a very harsh correction. And she bumped, like Captain bumped it. It wasn't 100 right away. Okay. But then after that, like he was really good. Like he didn't want to leave her for anything. And then her number dropped all the way down to like 20 to 30 something. Because now he was super compliant because she like put such a good correction on him. And then normally her number would be like 80 to get him to be like, you know, to like be compliant. But because that harsh correction, it made him super like, okay, here, I don't want to mess up. Okay. So, but because he was under command, he was not allowed to do that. But then she put him in a break after dealing with the training session, and she let him chase the squirrels. So she made it very cut and dry for him, like, hey, if you're under command, you're not going to do that, harsh correction. But when I say break, you can do that. Now, you can even put another layer to things. Like my dogs, if I were to be walking with them here and they saw squirrels, they have great prey drive, by the way. They won't touch the squirrels even on break. I have to break them from the break for them to have permission to do that. Does that make sense? There's like a secondary... What's up?
You say break and then break it.
Yeah, I just repeat it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like let's say my dog's been here and I release them and I just want them to like pee and poop and do their doggy thing. And my pit sees a squirrel. She'll like look at the squirrel and then she'll just like go away and go like that, right? But if I go up to her and I go break, she will go for it. Okay. The reason why I do that is because I don't want them chasing after everything they see. So it's just a secondary measure. So like let's say you wanted that as well. You would put Elsa on the long leash, you would tell her break, and if she booked it after a squirrel, after that first break, I would correct it, right? But not require her to do anything in particular. Just that she stop chasing it, right? And then I just meander with her, and then I see another squirrel, and maybe she sees it, and goes like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, right? And then I kind of go along, and then I coax her. Right? And then she's like, wait, what? I can do it? So yeah, you could put even another layer on things. It's just it's gonna take more work. Okay. You decide how you want to approach it. You know, that's why I tell everybody, I don't care if your dog chases a squirrel as soon as you say break. I personally didn't want that, but some of my clients do. You know, or some of my clients want that secondary boundary.
Secondary sounds better.
Okay. Other questions? So for this week, homework, super simple. The sends 2 to 3 minutes. You can keep it in the same place. You can even move it around so she recognizes the object. If you're going to teach a new place, like let's say you're going to have your bed, right? Don't think she's going to just transfer this because mine looks different. You have to warm her up first before it transfers over.
Okay.
And then let's say you're gonna have another one for like the car to take with you. You'd want to teach her with that first before thinking like, oh, let's go to the park and pop it down and go place. You know, like she's not gonna just do it.
Right.
You have to transfer to her like this is also another place area for you to go to.
Okay.
And then the other thing would be durational.
Okay.
And you can do that for as long as you want right off the bat, but just keep it nearby so it's very easy to correct.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so. We're good.
Awesome. So good job. Next class we will most likely not need the long leash either.
Okay.
The class after we'll need it, and we're gonna start doing the long leash to off leash immediate stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh.
Yep.
Nope.
Awesome. Good job.
Cool. Thanks.
Anything you let me know.
Okay.
Like your haircut.
She's like, hello.